So a lot of people on the internet talk about CIRS, C-I-R-S, which means a lot of people that come into the clinic also talk about it. And I think it's important because number one, we don't want to brush it aside, but number two, we also want to make sure that we rule out other elements of what can be going on before we just jump into that or bucket people into it. And so the example, just last week it comes to mind, we had a case where someone had been diagnosed in that way. So we're looking at mold and we're looking at Lyme and we're looking at candida and we're looking at chronic fatigue, right? And this sends you down a certain path. But then when we got testing and we actually kind of get into the weeds a little bit, we find out that what they actually have is a carotid compression syndrome that's causing hypoperfusion in the brain. And when we resolve that, the other symptoms go away. So it's not to say that those symptoms are invalidated, but what it can mean is it tells us about how important it is to actually make sure neurological and vascular function that just supports the infrastructure of the brain plays a huge role in these downstream effects that we see where we become more sensitive to things. And that could be things that are infections or foreign agents, but it can also be more sensitive to motion. It can also be more sensitive to pain. It's worthwhile to make sure that we don't skip ahead and jump right into those things and try to solve them symptomatically, but actually come back and make sure we do the groundwork to make sure we're not skipping anything in the first place. So I hope that helps.